Hi there, Scorpio, and welcome to your March reading. Great to see everyone again, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what kind of information and guidance comes through for your sign this month. Just a reminder, you can always use this video for your sun, rising, and moon sign. If you don't know all three, just stick with the sign that you're born under, and that will provide more than ample information for you. You can also watch this for loved ones in your life if you happen to know which sign they are. Now, just before I get started, I want to say that if you like what you see here and you'd like to support me, stick around till the end. I'll give you some information on how you can do that. I'll put a little bit here, but I'd really like to focus on the messages coming through themselves. So stick around, like I said, and in the meantime, let's get straight into your channeled information. Each and every month, I select a unique deck of cards for each sign. I meditate on those cards and I see what comes through to me. As I tuned into your sign, there was an overwhelming sense of openness, of freedom. In my mind's eye, it felt as if I were sort of floating on the water. If you've ever done that with your eyes closed, just relaxing and allowing for yourself to be supported and carried by the water. And I wrote down that this is a month when you really want to try and stretch out for new goals, for new opportunities, and dare to dream. The overarching word, though, was freedom. I think that the dreaming, that ability to really allow yourself to envision what it is that you want to be and then to move towards it, to not limit yourself, is really important. The other big element of this is just the word freedom itself. Are you feeling in your life right now that you have the ability to grow? Or are you feeling sort of like a plant that is in a pot that is too small, that it's reached its potential there and it needs to transplant, it needs to go somewhere else so that it can feel more grounded, feel more supported, feel more nourished? As we take a look at the cards this month, I really want to see where those opportunities to grow are, where there might be limiting factors as well that aren't allowing you to get to your potential. All right, with that being said, I'm going to turn the camera down. We'll pull a full Celtic cross, take a look at everything as well as a catalyst, and then we'll expand it to a look at health, wealth, love, and destiny. At this point, I like to remain quiet and just focus on the cards, their positioning, and the information that comes through with those positions. So give me a second to go ahead and pull everything. Let's go ahead now and take a look at your catalyst as well. As I look at this card, what's coming through for me is to pay attention to your communication, and if there's anything that you want to announce this month in particular, that's what this is kind of focusing on. And I saw a connection with Archangel Gabriel with this, which is an angel that you can kind of meditate with this month to try to help you with the timing and the communication of any sort of important message that you want to bring out there. Sometimes it's exciting. It can be like the traditional image of a stork, which is a birth, a genesis, something brand new. This could also be a decision that you need to make a change or to let go of something in your life. I get a sort of mid-month connection with this, so I don't feel like it's right at the beginning. I keep seeing keep hearing the word meditate or premeditate. So the important thing with the stork card is to plan your message and to time it according to when it's going to best fit sort of like the audience, or basically also making sure that you don't share something before it's ready. So it's sort of like a cake. You don't want to take it out until it's done. You don't want this to sort of just fall apart. So it has to be really ready to share, and you should feel excited about it. This is a sort of good way to approach anything in your life. It can be, yes, it can be an announcement, but it's also if you wanted to like sell something, for instance, a house, a product, a service, or if you wanted to come out and share something important about yourself, you have to feel it, you have to believe it, you need that enthusiasm, and if something is holding you back, fix that first before you let other people weigh in, because they're going to be looking at you to kind of judge how they should feel about it. If you feel good, then you've already overcome the biggest obstacle, and the rest is just sort of letting the universe support you, but you have to believe in it yourself first. Right at the center, we have two beautiful cards. The centermost card here is the Knight of Pentacles, and it's crossed by the Wheel of Fortune. Let's start with the Knight of Pentacles. For me, Knights are a fantastic card to sort of kick the month off with. This is showing that You're at that beginning phase that we were talking about. It aligns with what I was picking up on with stork. It also, for some of you, is showing movement and breaking through things. And it can also be sort of like a sort of figurative breakthrough in your life. It doesn't always have to equate to money, a job, or a situation. It can sort of be this moment of development that happens where all of a sudden you have this clarity of what's next. This is modified or crossed by the Wheel of the Year, which is the Wheel of Fortune. What I like about this one, though, is it's showing that whatever change you're making, it feels like it's one that can sustain and pull you through a longer period. This isn't a short-term sort of move that you're going to be doing. And for some of you, it could be a move. We have the crowning card as the Ten of Wands, which is definitely a card that can show up when there's a relocation or simply when there's a need to change everything up. So change of job, change of location, change of relationship. There's more autonomy in this one though, because it's upright. You're not sort of at the whim of like the Death card or the Tower card. There's some, again, premeditation keeps coming through, so you have a lot of choices this month. As we look at your deep past, we have a card here that is the Magician, or in this deck, the Witch. It doesn't matter. Basically, the Magician shows your ability to manifest. So I kind of like the representation of it being a spellcaster, if you will, in this. And what I want you to understand with a reversal on a Magician card is typically you would see one of each suit, and you still see that here. You see swords, you see pentacles, you see cups, wands, it's in her hand. So anyway, you see one of each suit. And what can happen sometimes, it's a compliment, first of all, that you have this ability to kind of put your energy in different places. The sort of phrase jack of all trades comes to mind, where you can kind of fit in any situation, you can get anything done, but with this sort of generalist point of view, there can sometimes be distraction. And one common thread across most signs this month is a need to be very focused and precise on what it is that you want to manifest. So because this is in your past, this is sort of saying, don't try to spread yourself too thin. Really feel things out. What is it that's calling to you this month? And where are there opportunities to possibly either step away from things that feel distracting, or just simply say no to some of the people around you that are asking you to do things that are just pulling you a little bit too thin, kind of like a rubber band. I say this because you have a lot of support around you. And one of the key cards that I would look for in a partnership opportunity is the Four of Wands. This is very much a friendship, business, or sort of amicable relationship card. It doesn't necessarily mean love. But if it is love, it usually means lasting love. And if it's a friendship, it's one of those people that could be a best friend in your life. So I'm seeing this energy of support right at the beginning of the month. Now, for some of you, it quite literally could be sort of like a nice, strong earth sign that's going to help take your idea, your energy, or just you to the next place that you need to be. And if that's the case, embrace that. That person is there, loves you, cares about you, feels like also they want that same expansiveness that I was picking up on when I was channeling the message for your sign. Up to your crowning card here, we have the Ten of Wands. You're at a point in your life now, and possibly sort of just looking at this month in particular, where you're ready to make a move. This is sort of like you're in a turnstile and you're trying to get through to the next area, but you might have a couple of choices here, or almost like a revolving door here. But imagine that there's not just the back and the front, there might be two other places you can go. And so what you're trying to do right now is to figure out how and when you want to do that, back to the timing, and also what you're trying to accomplish when you get through to the other side. So you're going to have to sort of take a look at your own wants, desires, and resources, because when I look at hopes and fears, it runs counter to what I see at the center. I'm going to jump ahead for a second because I see the Seven of Pentacles, which can be a recovery card, but in its reverse state, it can sometimes also be either reaching for that or limiting. So I want you to not be afraid that you're not going to be supported, or to start to fear that things are going to fall apart. That fear is self-perpetuating. It's always good to have a critical mind and a critical eye towards things. It's good to audit and know what is, what's fair, what's not fair. But when it comes to taking that leap of faith, which is what the Ten of Wands is encouraging you to do, this seems like it's a logical time that you're ready right now for that leap of faith. So don't let fear be the factor that holds you back. If there's something tangible in a contract, or if your budget says, I can't make this move right now, or I need to make more money, or I need one more year before I can do this, you can honor that. But I will say, for a lot of you, there's a breakthrough opportunity. There's a good supportive backdrop for you, whether it's a person or an organization. It feels like someone there wants to help you. So it might be worth that risk, and you'll have to feel that out for yourself. Towards the middle of the month, and I think for some of you, you might be wanting to do your announcement somewhere from like the 15th to the 17th, the middle of the month. It feels like you're going to go inward a little bit. We have the Hermit card here, which is an introspective card. It's a great time at that point of the month for you to kind of do like an internet search, do a best practices analysis and audit to understand what other people have done in this situation. If it's less of a business thing, it could just be getting a listening ear and making sure that what you want in your life or what you're trying to sort of affect makes sense. I will say there's a general note that I think it's less important to cut yourself off. It's more important for you to sleep and rest and sort of just take care of yourself. When I look in your ego this month, we have the Four of Swords in reverse. So I feel like many of you just have one activity after another, or you've booked yourself so much maybe over the month of February that by the time March is happening, you just are exhausted. So don't burn the candle at both ends. And if you do have to say no to a couple of social engagements, great. Don't do it to the point, though, that you're cut off, because that supportive network that you have is eventually going to be what helps you accomplish what you'd like to do. As I'm looking at your environment, we have a card here that shows that for many of you, you've reached the ceiling of what you can do. The Hanged Man, also, if you look at this one, I love how he's carving the figure 8 into the ground. It's not necessarily just elsewhere in the card. We see that in the Magician too. And so whenever you sort of see that infinity loop, there is a note that you might be stuck in a cycle. It also is a note that your possibilities are not as limited as you think, because to me, infinity means there are no limits. It stretches outward. So you kind of have to get out of this box or this circle that you might have found yourself involved in. And for many of you, it's a limit in your resources and maybe how much time and energy you think you can spend or want to spend in a certain area. So take a look at all of that and make some decisions in that space. The outcome card is Page of Pentacles in reverse. It's worth noting this month that we have 2 of the same suit, which can show some relationship issues. And the relationship issues seem closely attached to money. We have a 7 of Pentacles underneath the page and a Wheel of Fortune on top of the Knight. For some of you, this could mean a big decision. There could be a partner, whether it's a love relationship or a partner in your business, where there is a chance for them to grow, to move on. That Freedom card that we were looking at. This could also be you, because you know, I'm reading this for you, and I got this message of being able to stretch, to try, to dream about something new. If you find yourself in a position where you have a chance and you have to weigh it against a friendship, a lover, a business associate, and figure out what works for you, this is where I see it being a little tricky for you. If that's the case, I think it's important to sort of look at this 4 of Wands card. This is unconditional love and unconditional support. The center card shows an opportunity that I said could be lasting, changing, important, something that really, really matters. You have to think this through, but based on what I'm looking at here, this seems like a natural progression for you. And if you're the one that is seeing this for your friend or your partner or your lover, the same holds true. So I'm encouraging whoever this sort of resonates with, that you have to either make the move yourself or allow that other person to do it. Unconditional love in order to allow them to have freedom. And freedom is part of unconditional love. So if you two allow one another to kind of go on the path that you need to, trust that the friendship and the love is enough to bridge that gap and go through that distance of time and space. And that's the only thing you can do. Otherwise, you'll continue to feel stuck. And I think that this month is about breaking through those walls, that glass ceiling, that sort of limiting factor in either your own growth or someone else's. And you have to sort of evaluate, are they holding you back, or are you holding them back, or is the environment around you doing that? I really want you to be able to break through, and it feels like that's within your reach. The good news for you is that there are so many cards here showing opportunities with money and with jobs and with sort of like growth. It's just a matter of what do you want and how do you want to approach this? What lessons are you ready to sort of learn and let go of in this month? Because if you have that feeling of I am free, you are free, what comes through is going to be in our best interest and we're going to weather any storm, then I feel like this month is going to provide some really exciting movement for you. If you're holding back because of fear or because you don't want to let go of someone or some situation, then this is when some friction can happen and you're going to feel this sense of not being able to move, and I don't want that for you. So embracing those opportunities will be great. Looking at it just from a money perspective, and we're going to expand in a second, but I see some cards here that I want to talk about. I think that there is really good growth and movement happening because your center cards, the Knight and the Wheel of Fortune, those are good. So is the Ten of Wands. So is the Four of Wands. All of these are showing positive growth. So don't stand in your own way. This is all I'm seeing here as we're looking at past, ego, and environment, is this sense of wanting to pull inward while the rest of the cards are wanting you to expand. So that's where I was getting the feeling of like a rubber band being stretched. So, sometimes it helps to see the cards. And again, I feel that energy. So you have to go in one direction or another. Otherwise, you're just going to stay stretched or something's going to give. And I want it to be something that will propel you instead of making you feel like, you're just exhausted. Okay, let's go ahead now and expand the forecast. We'll begin with your health card. Health includes mind, body, and spirit. And given sort of this feeling that some of you might be stressed out, we'll pay special attention to this. Your health message this month is going in the flow. Everything is smooth sailing. And so that was kind of what I was talking about. You shouldn't feel like things are difficult, okay? By the way, this card was reversed. So when it comes to your own physical routines, if it feels good, then you are on the right path. If you ever feel like a sharp pain, if you have this sort of internal voice saying, don't do this exercise or don't try this thing or take some rest, I want you to listen to that. You really want to be in tune with your own intuition when it comes to your physicality and your health. And then when we're looking at life in general, if you go with the opportunities that are kind of allowing themselves to be seen this month, you're going to feel better. You're going to open up new things in your life. Your heart's going to open up. It's amazing. And I think that's what's happening. Some of you could just get a surprise letter. This could be, maybe you had a long shot, a job opportunity that you applied for, or you out of the blue, you're approached by somebody that you'd forgotten about, and they have something that they want to share with you that could change your life or their life. And this is going to kind of get you wrapped up in that. This month, I want you to believe that you can weather the storm. And then emotionally, you will be able to do that. And you might be brought to a better place too. The universe presents things often to help you get to the next level. And I think that's what's happening. So go with it. That's going to make you feel better. Also, listen to yourself this month. And if something doesn't feel right, don't force your body to do it. Let's look now at wealth and see what messages are coming through for money and career. Also, for me, this can indicate your experience with self-worth, kind of like how you're approaching opportunities. And I think that's especially important this month. So for many of you, you're going to have to wait 1 month to sort of see everything happen here. We literally have moon cycles here. So for me, that usually shows one lunar cycle. It says, notice how the moon affects your energy and manifestations. Capitalize on these cycles. I have a few meditations on my channel, and I'm sure you can find others in YouTube on like new moon and full moon meditations. I think that would be great for you to practice this month. I want you to pay attention to your sleep. You're going to receive some information this month, possibly through dreams. It's also important to really get a good night's rest. Even though I'm now getting some health information in your financial sort of expansion of the forecast, the two are tied together. So sometimes we'll see overlap there. But also whenever I get a card that's either the moon or something like this moon cycles, it's saying 1 full month. So what we're looking at here could kind of go throughout the course of this month and even take you into next. Be patient with it, be persistent, and know that the bulk energy that I'm seeing is pretty good. The outcome, I will say this month, there might be an investment opportunity for some of you. If there is, don't be the one that's putting too much money into this. When I look at the Four of Wands, this is equal partnership. So this shouldn't be like a 70-40 split. It would be a 50-50. And if you have to make a move, make sure you're getting compensated for the relocation costs, etc. So be very, very diligent and outspoken when it comes to contract negotiation this month. And if you have to wait a little bit on that contract negotiation, it might take up to a month, but I think it'll work out for you. All right, we just looked at health and wealth. Let's look at love and see what's coming through for all types of relationships, as well as your relationship with yourself. What does your self-confidence and self-love look like? So we have a card here which really sums up a lot of what we're looking at here. It's courage. So the card was reversed, but let's read it first, and then I'll talk about why it might be reversed. It says, I find the inner strength to face fear with confidence. I mentioned before that I don't think fear should be the limiting force here. If it is, then you're hesitating for perhaps the wrong reasons. You should be using data, facts, and your intuition, but there is a difference between hearing in your head, don't do this, and being afraid of either success, failure, or just change in general. If you look at the energy in this card, it's very much associated with power, personal power, focusing on your third chakra. Again, I'm getting some physical downloads on what you can do, but like exercises, Pilates, really working on the core this month, it's going to be important. Also looking at those core relationships that usually start from birth. I think this month it's going to be very powerful to heal those and see what patterns were set up by your family, and make sure that when it's now playing out in your relationships, that's no longer there. Don't be afraid to take a leap of faith. If someone that you love is moving and you feel excited about that and you want to follow them, this can also be about taking that trip, because the Ten of Wands is showing that. If you want to try something and you're afraid that you might be not supported or alone on this, this is saying if you believe in yourself, let go of that fear and trust that people will rally behind you, because I see that. Just have the courage to go after what's important to you and know that people will be there. It's about you this month. It's something I'm seeing across many signs. It's not about finding the love of your life or trying to connect with someone. This is about internal growth and internal development, and that's what's going to help you. So find that courage, find that strength in your core, and know that your relationships will follow. I did see two of the same suit, by the way. We have the Knight of Pentacles, like I said, in the page. So for some of you, you're going to have to balance out what's going on and make sure that when it comes to money and how the two of you are investing in one another's lives, that there's equity there. Let's go ahead now and take a look at the Destiny card for this month. Destiny, of course, is your chance to sort of look at where you're headed and decide, am I happy with that path, or do I want to course correct? We have Sisters of the Seasons here, which is cycles of growth, natural law, divine order. For many of you, this is a chance to begin, like I said, something that could change your entire trajectory. A new job, a new relationship, a new way of living or thinking. And the thing that I really want to focus on here is the cycle of growth. So I think that everything that's coming through this month is really there to support you and allow you to either expand your friend circle, expand your knowledge, get further in business, or simply to develop yourself further. If that means stepping away from someone, moving on to a new job, moving in with somebody, whatever it is, there is movement that's central and integral to this, but you have to have that courage to follow through on this. So let's go ahead and look at all of this together, and I'll try to weave together a concise message for you to take away. Your channeled information this month was to focus on opportunities that allow you to stretch, to dare to dream, to see what is out there that gives you this sense of freedom, openness, expansion. There's going to be something magical, important, or very, very key to the timing and delivery of these messages that you're going to receive this month. It could be an announcement. It could be a receipt of a message that, again, is going to open you up, an opportunity for you. It looks like it will be one that opens up the sense of being able to grow. The question is, are you ready? Are you ready financially? Are you ready emotionally? And as we look at these cards here, for many of you, the answer is yes, because the crowning card is the Ten of Wands. For some of you, you might still be working through your own fear, but let's walk through it all again. Center. We have the Knight of Pentacles, which is saying delivery, opportunity. Again, this is a chance for you to stretch, to grow, to receive something. And it's basically a doubly good message here with Knight of Pentacles and the Wheel of Fortune. I see sustainable growth and improvement within your financial sector, and also just internal growth if you're deciding to go to school or develop or create something. Just a reminder to try not to spread yourself too thin. Lean on others. Delegate where appropriate. Hire more people if you're in a company or a position or where you have that opportunity. Know that if you're looking for love, it might be right there around the corner. This is in the recent past. But more than anything, I see friendship and good sort of foundations in the relationships you've been building. That being said, one or both of you may be ready to move on. Know that if you truly have unconditional friendship and love, this is going to be able to weather that change. There's an energy of wanting to go inward this month. I think that a small amount of this can be beneficial, but if you spend too much time doing this, it could limit your circle of friends, your connections, and you want to keep those people in the know and let them know what's happening. You're overdue, I would say, for like a 1 or 2 day holiday. You should take some time off. If you were feeling like things were slow, I don't see them being slow this month. I see you being pretty busy. Make sure that your rest, or I should say your sleep, is giving you the rest that you need. If not, take a look at the bed, take a look at the environment around you, because something could be wrong. It feels like some of you aren't getting the proper night's rest that you need. With the Hangman, what we're really seeing is that you create your own limits, your own opportunities. You can also break those. And this is a month of redefining what is possible, stretching, just like we see him stretching there. This is your chance to stretch and try something new. Pay attention to what's coming through in your sleep. Both of these cards can be associated with sleep and receiving messages during sleep. So I really want you to kind of home in on that. As we look at what's going on with your money situation this month, we do have the Seven of Pentacles in reverse, but it's in the fear area. And it seems to go counter to what's going on in the center here. Your outcome is also showing a reversal of a money card here. We have the Page in reverse. This could mean for some of you that there's a chance to make an investment. There might be some unforeseen costs this month, but with the money that seems to be coming in, it feels like this is going to balance out. And there's a reminder that sometimes you have to invest in yourself or in a situation in order to see some sort of a payout. So weigh it out, make sure that, as we talked about earlier, that the contractual end of that meets your expectations. With health, again, if you're in the flow, great. If it feels like it's something that's good and helping you, then you should continue with it. If there's something in your body that's not feeling right, whether you're exercising or just doing something in your life, if you're sitting too much, this can show circulation issues. You want to make sure that you're getting enough circulation, that you're drinking enough. Things need to be flowing in your body and your energy system. If there's any blockages, get those taken care of. And of course, listen to yourself. That's the main message here. With all things in your money and work and sort of wealth sector, 1 month could be what's necessary for it to make a change. The other thing is I'm sort of getting the energy of the Moon card here, which is to not be afraid to ask difficult questions. And this is popping up here now in your relationship card. Have the courage to go through those difficulties, to face them head on, to illuminate the shadows so that you can basically neutralize that energy. Ultimately, we have a cycle of growth. And whenever there's a cycle of growth, there is a sense of panic sometimes that happens, or a resistance to that growth. When I went through my yoga teacher training, I remember one of my gurus, one of my professors, talking about this tendency for us to, as you sort of grow and go up in a frequency shift, you get to a new height and then you come down just a little bit so that you can allow for everything to settle in and integrate. I think that's what's happening for many of you this month. Then you can get back up to that higher energy, because I saw the high energy at the middle, the Wheel of Fortune, the Knight of Pentacles, and then I saw a half tick down here when it goes to the Page of Pentacles reversed and the Seven of Pentacles reversed. They didn't make sense. So I feel like some of you have already done this stretch, but now you're pulling back a little bit because either you're not ready, or you want to think it through, or you're trying to put logic to this natural change that is starting to happen around you. Just embrace it and realize that more is ready to come in. So don't hold back on that flow. And we're seeing that in your energy. When I look at your health card, it's also your chakra system. your chakra system's opening up. It wants to allow more in, so don't shut it down with fear or with doubt. And the biggest area in your chakra system that needs to be healed looks like it's your solar plexus. So you can work on that and things will start to turn towards the positive for you, okay? So this will bring your monthly reading to a close. There was a lot of great information here. Overall, pretty good, and just a couple of things that you need to focus on more intellectually and when it comes to sort of like fear and courage. But if you ever want to talk a little bit more in depth about what you can do to affect positive change in your life, or if you have a big decision and you'd like to talk to someone, you can reach out to me. The first card in the video and the first link below will allow you to take a look at my rates and availability, and if that makes sense for you, I'm happy to make time for you. The second link is a great way for you to give back. I have a Patreon page and also a donation link on my website. If you join me on Patreon for as little as $1 a month, which is cheaper than coffee or just about anything that you can treat yourself to, you will support this channel and allow me to continue to buy new cards and more importantly, set up the time that I need to do these videos. And you can stop that at any time, but it's a great energy exchange for what's going on here and a great way to make a difference. You can also, like I said, just do a one-time donation through my site, even $1 for the whole year. That really helps me and it helps, again, sort of even out the energy exchange. The third way to do it, if you don't feel like that or you don't have the resources to do it, is simply to help me share this message with others. If there's someone that you love or that you think could benefit from this, take to your social media and you can share it there. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I also have a newsletter, and sharing it across any of those mediums is fantastic. And I'll put all the information below. Of course, if you haven't already liked and subscribed to my channel, please do that and opt into notifications so that you can see when new videos come out. I like to end every video with sort of a gratitude to you and also like a closing message that's specific to your sign. The gratitude comes because the more that you continue to work on yourself, the more that we create light in a time when there's a lot of fear, a lot of darkness. So I'm here to hopefully help spark that light, and I like to sort of sometimes meditate on what the world looks like. And I think that if you were to imagine like an aerial view of the planet at nighttime, if you've ever seen some of the cities, they twinkle like stars. I think that all of you are doing that in your own energy sphere, even if you can't see it. And if we all shine brightly enough, then we can balance out the darkness, and that's my hope. For you, the big thing is don't be afraid. We have this card about courage, and I had a channeled message about freedom. And I think that if you can kind of play with these two ideas this month, having the courage to go after what you want, that will free you, that will open up the flow. This will allow all of the opportunities to come through that want to. I see a big cycle, not just in the next month, which we saw here with the moon cycles, but also for the next year. For me, the Wheel of Fortune, also the Wheel of the Year in this, can indicate all of those seasons, those cycles of growth and the seasons of the year that we see here illustrated. So you have a good year ahead of you. You just have to work through a couple of limiting thoughts, and I think you're there. Thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of your journey. I'll see you again next month. Until then, take care of yourselves.